First model. I heard Flat Earth British talking about it on a hangout with Doomweaver, and this is going to be history in the making. I can't wait. This is so exciting. GLOBEBUSTERS have their first map, working map. This is going to blow all the skepticism away. Even me. I might even change my name to Jed Flat Earth Media. My heart's beating here. I can't wait. Let's go, guys. Let's watch this.
Oh, you heard that right. Join Awake Souls, Jason Laufenberg, and Ronnie Harris of Event Skeptic.
I can't wait. This is so exciting. GLOBEBUSTERS have their first map, working map. It's
okay. The Flat Earth working map and model, macro to micro. Stars to the sun.
Will always be lined up where the north is.
Oh man, I just feel like I ate some manna.
Different grid work than this. It was just a rectangular grid work, but I forgot to adjust the angle. Timeanddate.com. It's 63 degrees. Is the sunrise angle to? Was it 87 is the sunset, and
Tonight, live at 8 p.m. Central. Only on Beyond Flat Earth. And we're live. Welcome, everybody. So nice to see everybody here today. Shout outs to the chat.
woohoo!
Shout outs to the one they called Jason Laufenberg.
And Ronnie Harris. That was I love that intro. I think we should just sort of stick with that for a while. That is so good.
Well, I like what you had to say. I like what I had to say. I love what Jed had to say.
I know. We are the real GLOBEBUSTERS.
We really are. There's no denying that at all.
What
this set up here.
What have the GLOBEBUSTERS been doing for the last, 3 years or whatever?
Yeah, nothing really, right?
Yeah, we get it. The Earth's flat. You know, there's a bunch of us that have moved beyond that, beyond flat Earth. Okay. Oh, and by the way, the model that you're teaching doesn't work.
No, oh no, it's been debunked.
Even if you're a GLOBEBUSTER, the model that you are teaching is it's wrong. We've showed it to you. We've showed it to everyone. We've made videos about it. Nobody's debunked them. Nobody even tries. Their only strategy is to try to ignore us. And it's not working anymore. People are starting to hear.
Yeah, totally. I'm getting good feedback. I'm getting all kinds of feedback. Not getting any debunkings or any negativity.
Yeah, well, I just put up a flurry of videos, and here, let me show people what I just did recently.
Sure.
So go to like channel. There it is. There it is. And there we go. The most recent video I just put up, boats over horizon, Zoom hoax debunked. This is not my video. This is a repost of Flat Earth Photography's video, and it's something that he noticed. Everybody needs to give credit to Mike of Flat Earth Photography for saying this. He said it first, and he triggered it within me, because I've got a P900 and I've been recording for a long time, and so I know what I've seen. And he said Zoom's a hoax. He said if it doesn't appear, if it's not visible, you can't see farther. You can't go farther. The only thing the zoom does is it magnifies what's visible. And you know, he said that, and I knew right away that what he said was true, but it like sat in my head, and it was going through processing, and I was double checking it against all the things that I've observed while I was filming. And after running that through the cross checker in my head for a long time, I can say without a shadow of a doubt, if it's not visible to us, you know, like our eyes, if it's all blurred out, when you go to zoom in on it, you've zoomed in on a blurry spot. You don't bring anything that was farther away back into sight. And so the popular flat earth community has been promoting videos that give the person an illusion that a boat that has gone out beyond the horizon, that they're able to draw it, like the zoom can go farther. You can zoom out further and see it. And it sounds like a great flat earth proof, right? It's the great way to debunk the ships going over the horizon. But it's built on a completely false premise. It's another lie. And the funny thing is it's you who made the best video explaining what's actually happening. And you made it so crystal clear. I mean, it's a perfect video. And it's got over 10,000 views, yet still nobody in the popular flat earth community says a word about it. And it is the explanation for this battle that's going on right now over zooming out to the horizon and seeing boats go over the curvature of the earth. I'm not saying that we're on a ball. I'm saying that when something's not visible in our field of view, the zoom doesn't go out and get images that were out further. It only magnifies what was visible. And so telescopes, I've always had this question in the back of my head, and telescopes are just debunked.
Yeah, they don't work.
They don't. All they do is magnify what's visible in our field of view. And you can make a real big one so that you can do it in low light. All they do is magnify what we can see already.
Yes, it's something. I wish that there were more people talking about it, but there isn't.
So if it's all right, what I'd like to do is play your video that explains all this. And then anytime you want, just tell me to stop, and you can fill in the details, or if I have questions, I'll ask them of you. But this is Flat Earth 101 as far as what perspective and what our field of view, like, we got to relearn seriously. And this is the groundwork right here. You laid it down.
Oh, brother. And I have to give shout outs. I did have help from Free Energy and from the one they call Disc Part Reality. And yeah, it's about a team. We'll get into some of this.
I'm sorry, we're looking for the video again. All right, I might have to pull it up. This is a cool video. This just came up. Let's see if I'll open a new tab. So everybody, as you watch the screen here, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do. You need to type event skeptic, just like that. Come on, let's go. Keep her going. Did you see that my internet stopped right there?
Yeah, they don't want us to share the truth, right? They
no. It hurt the internet. It hurt the internet so much to do that. All right, so this is the channel that you need to be at, folks, and the name of that video, Ronnie?
What is it? It's called oh, wow, I'm drawing a blank. It says what Jeranism and IPS won't show you is part of the title.
I've got it. Yeah, what Jeranism and IPS don't want you to know. Proof there is no curvature.
That's the one. Sorry, you caught me off guard there.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
the internet is not liking that I want to show this video right now.
Do you want me to? You got it. You got it.
No, go ahead and share. Like my internet's not nearly as good as yours. Go ahead.
Yeah, you want me to?
Yeah, please. Yeah, okay. It seems to have froze up here.
Let me get this here. I can also share the chat as well, which is interesting. I'm not screen sharing yet, right? Oh, I am. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I didn't know if I was still muted. I'm going to mute once I play it. So do you want to do commentary or just let it roll?
Yeah, well, if somebody has... No, just let it roll. Let it roll.
Okay. One sec. Gonna turn my camera off.
Ronnie from Event Skeptic here, and today I would like to silence the debunkers, globe earthers, who still believe that objects being obscured by the horizon is the result of curvature. This video will leave no doubt that you are living on a flat plane. As we seek for truth, we will all encounter skepticism, denial, deceivers, and those who lash out because they can't accept who the Creator truly is. This video is for the edification of the truth. It clearly demonstrates that objects leaving your position appear to disappear from the ground up. and objects approaching you in this reality appear from the sky down. In this reality, our vision is limited to what is called a horizon line. This line runs a 360-degree circle of sight completely around us at all times. The outer line marks the maximum distance of our field of view, and it is the boundary of our horizon line at 360 degrees all around us. These diagrams and observations are of a plain, flat view. At this part of the demonstration, the red and blue objects clearly can't see each other because their horizon lines haven't intersected. So from both perspectives, neither object can see each other because their field of view hasn't intersected. As the two objects' circle of sight approach each other, their fields of view intersect. So in this simulation, we see the blue dot appearing to rise above our horizon. Yet we know that it is still partially blocked and lies beyond our actual horizon line. As the blue dot continues approaching the red dot, it appears to be rising at the horizon, but it's still perceived behind the horizon line. As soon as the blue object crosses the circle of sight or field of view of the red object, it then enters the field of view and crosses into the horizon line of the red object and becomes entirely visible. As the two objects align, their fields of view completely overlap. As the blue object moves further away from the red, it then begins to set on the opposite horizon until finally it completely disappears beyond the field of view. Now we will see what an observer standing on a flat plane observes as a plane passes by. The field of view from the airplane is much larger because of its altitude. Due to the laws of perspective, the higher an object is, the greater its field of view becomes. Now, as the airplane approaches the observer, the fields of view intersect, and the plane can be seen rising from the horizon top first. Due to perspective, the airplane rises visually, but not physically, as it approaches the observer until it is directly overhead. Due to perspective, The airplane will descend visually as it moves towards the opposite horizon. Once the plane exits the observer's field of view, due to perspective, it will visually set bottom first and disappear despite the plane never changing altitude. As an object gains altitude, its field of view increases significantly. The field of view from the airplane is much larger because of its altitude. If you were standing at position 1, you would be at the highest vantage point with the greatest field of view, and you would be seen from the largest distance away. If you were standing at position 4, you will have a lower field of view, and you can be seen from far less distance away. Thus, we can see the top of the tower and not the bottom, as long as our field of view stays outside the marks 2, 3, and 4. This is plain observations that everyone can do. As an observer approaches the tower, it will be completely invisible until your field of view intersects with the tower's highest point and field of view. At each of these intersection points, due to your limited field of view from the ground, the tower will become visible from the top down until you reach the point where the entire tower is within your field of view. Similarly, as you move away from the tower and your field of view crosses the intersection marks, less and less of the tower will be observed, disappearing from the bottom up until it's completely invisible once again. All objects at the horizon will always appear from the top down due to the laws of perspective in relation to your field of view. Likewise, as a ship sails away from your stationary field of view, it will appear to disappear from the bottom up, the very same way stationary buildings appear from the top down when you're the object that's moving. Please stay tuned, tune in, and join in with TEAMYAHAWASHI. I'm giving a huge shout out to the one they call Disc Part Reality. Thank you. And to everyone else, please get involved. Tonight, 8 p.m. Central, Beyond Flat Earth. If you can't make it then, and you're listening to this in the future, the link is right here. Check out what we had to say. Please get involved. Now at this point, the pylon has completely disappeared. There is no curvature between the observer, you, the horizon, a boat, a plane, and that pylon. No curvature. We live on a flat Earth. And this is the part of the video that I ask you, get involved. Please share this video and help edify for the truth. We are TEAMYAHAWASHI. Truth is out. For all those with eyes to see and ears to hear, you heard. Peace out.
Here and be able to hang out with you today.
Thank you all so much.
It's what a great so do you have any questions? Like, I wonder, are there any questions in the chat?
Were you going to say what a great video? Because if you're not going to, I will.
Yeah, I guess I kind of was. I caught myself there.
Yes, that was a great video. That so that, I mean, I just promoted Flat Earth Photography's video where he's talking about this whole zooming thing. Everybody needs to pay attention to this, relearn what's going on in their head, and with that correct information there, right there, you laid it down. We need to reprogram off of that.
Well, yeah, it's been pretty much. So what it means basically is that due to perspective, objects appear to leave your field of view and go over or past your boundary of sight, your field of view, and whether there's no way of debunking this proof, right?
Well, no, and if there was, right? If there was a way of debunking the proof, we want to see it, we want to study it, we want to show it to everybody where we were wrong and make sure that we've got the right information out there. So everybody go to work, try to debunk that, see if it's debunkable, but it does not appear to be so. And it's the truth.
That's the problem that liars and deceivers have. Is you can't debunk the truth.
It's hard. It's really hard, because it is reality, and lies are based on something that doesn't exist. It's a non-existent. It's an imaginary thing. Have no reality to them.
Mm-hmm. It's an incredible proof. I wish we could get some other flat earthers, but I guess there's a time and a place to have. If people aren't going to get with us, I don't know if what we can do to get them with us. If they're not following the truth, what are we supposed to do?
Mm-hmm. Well, I am, and I know you are too. We've talked about this. We're just going to keep doing it nonstop. So you can watch and see how people wake up at different times. So we'll just keep going until the Creator's time for this world is up. And then when his time for this world is up, we won't have to do this anymore. And hopefully hopefully we'll be in a good place with the Creator. And
yes.
So it doesn't matter if we're watching the Revelation 12 sign very carefully. But if September 24th comes along and nothing seems different, it's not going to change a single thing that I'm doing. I just have an expectation. But fighting lies and deception, my favorite thing to do. Favorite thing to do.
That reminds me of one of our older videos when we brought out that whole what our the flashing going on. What our agenda was to destroy lies and deception, and to do our best to seek all the information. And what we highlighted was, well, maybe we can share that trailer later just to show people where we've come from. Is to seek out how to go about discerning through all of the controlled co-intelligence and to find which avenue was the direct path to the truth.
Mm. I'd like to do a quick shout out to the chat. Sean MC, I'd like to say hi. I've got a question from Dispart Reality. Can you please explain how your simulation theory works when using a telescope or when using other type devices? I only ask because when using such devices, one can clearly see further. What do you mean by see further? So when I'm out looking at the horizon on a normal flat ground, it's a very local horizon. It's like 3 miles to 10 miles, depending on the hills and the valleys and that kind of stuff. Now, the higher you go, like let's say you're up on a mountain, now you can see much farther. Maybe there's another mountain range way off in the distance. That means you can see the mountain range. Now, one of the things that you know when you're looking at that mountain range is that you have no detail to it whatsoever. It's just a haze. You see a silhouette. But when you put the set the P900 up and zoom in on that, you will see a magnified version of that blurry silhouette that you can see with your eyes. So it's not like you're looking out there and you can now all of a sudden see a mountain range that you couldn't see. You're just zooming in, magnifying the mountain range that you could see. It doesn't create, like, you don't see new mountain ranges that weren't visible before.
So to further that point a little bit, what you're stating is that a P900, a telescope, binoculars, anything that we use enlarges whatever we already have in our field of view.
Magnifies it, and you can see it larger.
Okay. That's what other questions did we have here? Oh, that question was from Truth Period. That was a good question, Truth Period. Tell us what you think about these mirrored box simulators. From Cartoon Bell Jason, 2 egg souls.
Mirrored box simulators is not something I'm familiar with.
Well, maybe that's a reference to a camera.
Mirrored box simulators. Maybe more detail, please, because I'm not familiar with what mirrored box simulators are. So we've had to deal with unpleasant topics before in the past, right?
Is that where we're going?
Yep.
Okay, well, go ahead.
So in the past, do you remember the name of that group that was like the people is Karen Pettit, and it was the Sun and Moon Facebook group?
Mm-hmm. That was the first attempt.
Yeah, so they were infiltrators. They reached out to us and tried to infiltrate, get in close, and it went on for a while. But what happens is, because we keep pushing for the truth, and they have some hang up somewhere that they're not willing to go with the truth, there becomes a separation, and all of a sudden, you know, it opens the eyes of us to see, okay, there's a problem here. And then it usually falls apart really quickly after that, and you know, they'll turn around and try to slander us and do things like that. And you've been out here doing this longer than I have, and you are the event skeptic and highly refined in researching people. And so we have a close-knit community of people that we talk with, and they have to be vetted. We don't want any infiltrators. We don't want them around. And so you got a message with somebody that we've been working with, who's in our close circle, that I find highly disturbing. And if you would, I would like to make it public.
Well, I had a message from a truther, a really nice lady, and she was saying something about a similarity in one of the people. I guess it would be Rosette Delacroix, saying that she sounded similar to another YouTuber, Lynn Liaz. And I didn't instantly, you know, the voices are, you know, 99.9 match. But it was interesting. Like today, we were going to do a live hangout over on her channel, and she's had some really good impacts, sharing her group with our group. And I guess she just turned ship. And have you talked to her? Has anything come your way about this, or?
Well, no. What I noticed is we're using Zoom, and she's no longer a contact on Zoom. So she either just like hung up and disconnected herself from me, or yeah, she's not in my contact list anymore.
Well, you know, I'm seeing well, I guess if Rosette was Lynn Liaz, and there are other people that are in our inner circle, you might as well just stay, because you're not going to be able to attack us with the truth. We're out here telling the truth, so you're only going to further our mission.
Well, that is the funny thing. I guess the whole idea behind being an infiltrator is the idea that they would catch us saying something that they might be able to use against us, right?
Okay.
Well, I think in most scenarios, if we had some sort of corrupt idea in mind, they think that by being in the group, and you know, they're probably recording everything, that they'll catch us in something that they'll be able to turn on us and use against us. And that's the whole idea behind infiltration. But you and I've often thought to myself, I wish we had this recording every moment that we're speaking, so that not a moment's wasted.
Yeah, it would be handy, but it does intrude on privacy, and we do respect everyone's decision of whether or not they're being recorded. We are all being recorded. That's one of our simulation realizations, right? Everything's being recorded all the time. If we're in a simulation, in order for something to be rendered, it went through a processor. So there is a record of it. There are no secrets in this world. Absolutely not.
So if anybody thinks that they've got some secret, forget about it. You're in a simulation, and it's all recorded. I mean, the whole satanic Lucifer all-seeing eye, what I see there is that Satan's got a tap on this world and can see everything that's happening. All-seeing eye. So I bring this up because we are we've got to double check everybody. I double check you, you double check me. Everybody that comes into our group gets double checked. I don't particularly mind if an infiltrator is in our group, because I've got nothing to hide, and sometimes I can pull some decent information out of that infiltrator. They have to contribute something, otherwise they get the boot, because a non-contributor is worthless. So yeah, the guard is up, absolutely. Rosette, when you hear this message, if you have a love for the truth, I know that Ronnie and I and you are going to end up at the same location. So if there's any sort of personal problems, we'll have to work them out at that destination, the arrival of the truth.
Irregardless of how we arrive there. But I do strongly recommend, like I do in everything I do, is that you find out the true creator. So here's a question for everyone in the chat, and for you, Jason, directly. You're a flat earther. Do you believe that the flat earth simulation is infinite? And everyone in the chat?
Well, I know that it's impossible.
Okay. Because?
Well, because in a computer program, anything that's infinite it's not processable. The first computer command that you get to that's infinite, the computer's done. It'll run. Well, yeah. It'll run on that. It'll run on that one thing forever. Forever.
Yeah, it's not going to ever come up with a spit out the answer because it's infinite. So, it's too bad. Yep.
But I guess you could imagine some world scenarios that were never ending as far as building out in front of a character. So you could imagine like a map in a computer game where you have a player pop down, that within that finite program, that it allows a player to continue and continue and continue, because it continues to build map in front of that character. So we would have to get into a real distinct definition of what we specifically mean by the word infinite, so that we don't get into some sort of semantic battle back and forth with somebody. There are hard problems with using infinity. There's conceptual ways of making it work. So I don't want to get into that.
Well, basically, I guess so. It seems like there's two teams of flat earthers. You have the Christian team that knows, okay, well, my next question was, now that you know the earth is flat, do you know who created it, why, and how? Jason and chat.
Yeah, well, the creator, I've done all the research. So I had the advantage of growing up a Jehovah's Witness and learning the Bible really well. Although the translation of the Bible that they use is a very low quality, highly infiltrated version of the Bible. But in general, I know the scriptures and I know the general theme, so I can always go and to older translations like a KJV. But now what we seem to be doing is going back to the actual Hebrew in Greek words and trying to extrapolate the correct meanings from those original root words, and you know, giving up on the translators that have messed up along the way.
Well, yeah, that would be the study into ancient Paleo-Hebrew, which is the original pictographical one vowel language that they desperately don't want. They don't want let out.
Yeah, so I grew up knowing the scriptures. You know, I learned that Jehovah's Witnesses were a completely incorrect religion, and I fell for scientism and became an atheist. Lived a super hedonistic, satanic lifestyle, totally satanic lifestyle. Although never was involved in any sort of Satanism, never studied any of that kind of stuff, but just the lifestyle itself, I wasn't giving credit to the creator. And I was, you know, hedonistic. It was all about me. I thought that, you know, Big Bang and evolution and there is no creator, and, you know, I'm going to live for me. I was selfish. And I learned my lesson from that. But then I did have a love for the truth, and I started looking for the truth again after my first divorce, and I took the path looking through the Eastern religions. You know, I felt like I knew the Christian one, and went through the Eastern religions looking for enlightenment, and the flat Earth came along. And I already knew I was in a simulation, but I was rocked by the flat Earth because the Bible was correct. Mm-hmm. The Earth is fixed and immovable. It doesn't move. The motion that you see is in the sky. And that right there, I totally reconnected with Christianity, abandoned the false teachings in the Eastern religions. I still hold on to the teachings that were true within the Eastern religions, but my hope is back in the Bible, back in true Christianity, back in the Savior, Yahawashi, the creator of this world, Yahweh. I know this is a simulation, and I know that the creator of this world is the author of the Bible and the other inspired scriptures. Mm-hmm. That's what research has shown. Nobody can prove that wrong.
And then, okay, so we know that the creator of the Bible has been redundantly shown to give proof positive that he is the creator of this place, this what we call a simulation. And now we can look, and what you've got is the main flat Earth proponents are pushing there is a dome over our heads. And right here, as you can see, I have the Strong's H7549, which is properly in the phonetics pronounced Ra-Ka or Ra-Kia in the new Hebrew with the phonetics added. I don't know if everyone can see here, but it says expanse. Mm-hmm. So this is the arch, the visible part of the sky that is placed above us. And this is a bit of a new topic that I wanted to bring into the Beyond Flat Earth realm and simulation theorists that we have working with us. And so what I have heard, Disc Part Reality and a couple of other people have been expressing, so the sky could be a type of screen that is above us that is rendering a beautiful story. What do you think of that?
It is. It's like going into a planetarium. The planetarium experience and sitting out in your backyard having a bonfire. It's the same. The way it's projected is in a radius. like an equal distant radius to you, all the way around you. And there are cardinal directions within that dome. Get yourself oriented. And from the east, you see the sun rise, and it goes up just like it's following the arc of the dome and the planetarium, and it comes down and sets. And P900 observations are showing that this distance can be like as short as 3 miles for a person that's on flat and level ground. And then it reaches out, I think the farthest any trustable documentation of being able to see something in this world is in the 80-mile range. If somebody's got something that is repeatable, we can send a bunch of people out there. Everybody can do it. That's more than 80 miles. We would like to see this. We're looking for how far we can see, actually. There's a lot of fake stuff out there.
Well, we have Enslaved by Media had a good point, like a huge green screen. Yeah, basically, and the software that's running the image in the green screen is coming from the creator, Hasatan, or the adversary, if you may, has been allowed to, for some reason, intersect between the two, and it's caused us a lot of trouble. And we're hoping and praying that his time is up. We have a question here from Anna Maria. She says, I have a question from your believer's perspective. What do you say about stuff like tarot cards? And what is this form simulation perspective? Is it totally evil or satanic? I don't know how those two questions are related, but you can answer the first one, Jason, if you'd like.
Tarot cards?
Yes. What about tarot cards?
Well, the scriptures, which lays down the commandments from the creator of this world, is highly against all sorts of sorcery, magic, all the witches, all the wizards, all that sorcery is highly condemned. Highly condemned.
In a way, I give you the ding there, because he provides all knowledge. He provides all truth. So if you go to a secondary person, so I believe as a truth seeker, until I have first-hand witness of truth, I can't believe that it's true until I have first-hand witness. And Yahweh dwelt among us as Yahawashi, and he told us not to act like the heathens or the Pharisees and scribes who had begun to do things like tarot cards. And I also believe that the simulation we're in is a manifestation of our thoughts. Our thoughts are interacting with the actions inside this reality, and reading a tarot card that says death card or whatever card, you project the manifestation of that card. You then make the tarot card real. And that's why Yahweh sent Yahawashi to tell us that he was the only way to be pure and true in this world, because then you then render the light that you were made from. Sorry, Jason.
No. Think about the ways that we manifest stuff in this world. Let's be utterly practical and just not even be thinking about simulation. How do you manifest things in this world? If I want to go build something out in the backyard, it starts as an idea. Bing! What is it that I want? And inside here, there's this creation process where you begin to visualize what it's going to look like. Now, if you're going to build it and do a good job, what you do is you take that idea and you manifest it out in some sort of written or electronic form. You draw it out, pencil and paper, or if you can use 3D modeling, it's way better. So then you have the plans for it. And then when you build to the plans, and then you have the item that you imagined in your head. You just manifested it. It was an idea. Now you have it. You created it. That's how we do things, like physically with our bodies. Now with our mouths and our written words, we have these like things that we call relationships between people. And the relationship that we have between a person is based on our physical actions and our words out of our mouth and our written things. So we're laying down the code when we speak things, when we write things, with all the people that we have relationships with. This is determining the whole interaction of the whole simulation based on everything that a person thinks and says and does, and that is what's manifesting the world that we see right now.
Yeah, so that's when I hear nihilists, deists, or anybody who is promoting the fact that the Bible isn't true. What they're trying to do is essentially block you from creation. They're trying to put your mind into a state of chaos so then you can be controlled and enslaved. And they use media. They use basically anything to do with the monetary system, usury, blackmail. We started the show off with talking about infiltrators. The adversary, Satan, is the infiltrator. And here's an interesting question, Jason. There was another question here. Why didn't we have free will from the beginning? If I could quickly just say, if when you're in heaven, the scripture states that you can't unlearn the Creator when you're right with Him. So the only way to truly test our choice is to give us free will, because I want a fair shake and a fair playing field in this reality. So how could I then turn around and say to the Creator, you didn't give me a chance to choose whether I loved you or wanted to do my own thing? So I believe this is a creation, a simulation for us to have free will. And we couldn't have been just given that. We have to experience and learn that. I'll throw it back to you, Jason.
Well, yeah, that comment in the chat from Kaylin Dragota, why we didn't have free will from the beginning, if God exists. I've answered that question up above. I don't know if you're just trolling right now, but Adam and Eve both had free will from the beginning. They chose not to follow the Creator's commandments. They broke it. If they didn't have free will, that couldn't have happened. They had free will. That's the reason why we're in the problem that we're in right now. They chose the wrong path.
Well, again, I just want to reiterate, everything that happens has a reason. So every choice that we make has an outcome, just like the Creators. And I still firmly believe, if you want to have a really good hockey team, you got to practice with them. You got to check them against the board. You got to shoot at the goalie. You need to pray. You just can't just poof, I'm the best hockey player that ever touched the ice. It takes practice, and you got
to be tested, and you got to learn. So this has been an experience where we've been able to learn the things that we don't like and the things that we do like, and just like the scripture said, there is this division that's taking place between the wheat and the chaff, because the people that love the truth and the people that don't love the truth, they are being separated right now. And I feel bad, everybody, but family relationships, between you and your parents or siblings, or a marriage partner or children, the whole 9 yards, it's really, the division is happening. And the question is going to be, will you stand for your love of the truth, or will you cave? And that is the test. We are being tested in that way, and we're so close right now. I beg everybody, this is not the time to give up. It is not.
Yeah, Derek, it's hockey's a great sport. I do enjoy playing sports, and I play music. Jason, there was a question asked from Anna Maria. What about art? Can we paint anything? Is there forbidden images to paint?
Well, it all comes from the way you see the world. I mean, what world do you see? Are you gonna, if you're looking for your muse, you're looking for your inner creator, and you want to be all inspired, does it turn out, with horns and blood and pentagrams and all that kind of stuff all over it, or does it turn out like with rainbows and rivers and mountains and sunsets and stuff like that? So, I mean, I think the artwork reveals who you are as a person. Is it forbidden? No, you can paint or draw or do whatever you want, but it is going to show us who you are.
Yeah, there's pretty much, and again, back to the simulation realization, we manifest. So I read a book. Jason, did you read The Secret by Rhonda Byrne?
Mm-mm.
No?
Nope.
Well, it was a book. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, it was a book about how we could manifest anything into this reality, and the Satanists, they've been pulling out all their cards, are getting people to render things like money and power and just all the improper things. And I tried it. I have always been a believer of scriptures and in the Creator, but I was duped into reading a book called The Celestian Prophecy, which I do believe has truth in it. See, that's what they do. They mix the truth with the lies. So I did write down in the book, I want to receive money. And I did the little whatever witchcraft thing that it told me to do, say it out loud and believe it. So you have to, anything we draw or create first starts with our thoughts, and then it becomes a statement or a message or an image, and then 3, it becomes our reality. So if you're painting a porn or horrifying victim pictures or hellfire, you are going to become that. If there's a great movie called What Dreams May Come by Robin Williams, and they also share these inside secrets. So I believe in rendering truth that is pure and in the eyes of the Creator good. Jason, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, well, it's one of the things. So the whole New Age movement, if anybody's gone down that road, they've probably heard all about this. And it is true, because we're in a simulation. The things that you hold in mind do tend to manifest. So really be careful about the words that you say, the words that you write, and the actions that you do with your body. Even just what you hold in mind, be careful about that. If you go into a dark or a fearful state, you could create problems within your reality. So you have to, if you've done meditation, if you've done stuff like that, you got to really learn how to control your thoughts. And what you'll see is if you hold positive thoughts, and the ones that are going to work the best, the ones that are just going to, like, you're going to see it, is try to think of things that would be in harmony with the will of the Creator of this world. And we know what the will of the Creator of this world is from the scriptures, the Bible and the extra canonical texts. So if you study those scriptures and you find things within them that you would really like to see and really like to be a part of, then start verbalizing it, write it down, do things like pray, just like center all of your attention on that. And then chances are you're going to begin to start seeing miracles in your life. I've seen them. I know you've seen them, and it doesn't take long. The Chemtrails Are Demonic video has produced miracles within people's lives, where they've they've gone out and by using the name Yahawashai and praying against these, demonic chemtrail things that we see in our sky, they have been able to defeat them. They disappear and go away. And
we have too.
Yeah, well, there's testimony all over the video in the comment section of people that have actually put it to the test and come back and say it works. So this is another way, over and over, this body of work that we're doing will continue to build and build upon itself, because it's a firmly fixed foundation. And I want to continue to remind people about these practical things that you can do in your life that will have positive influences, and continue to, show and tell people other things that you can think about and do that will have these immediate positive effects in your life. So yeah, very practical knowledge that we're sharing too.
I was going to add too, I believe in the end times. One of your great explanations, Jason, is that the hell itself is going to be a manifestation of people who think wickedly and who do wicked things. You are from the dust and the ashes, will go back. So if you're here and you choose to think about evil, wicked things, you are going to create that reality. And a lot of near-death experiences actually testify and witness to what I'm saying, is that if you don't call upon the true name of this reality, Yahushai is his ancient Hebrew phonetic saying, which is Jesus Christ of the Nazarenes. So what we believe is that the rendering of reality is going to get ramped up. So the people that have good thoughts, it's going to get brighter and brighter and brighter, and the people that have bad thoughts are going to get eviler and more wicked until a big, I couldn't even imagine, but I know that anyone out there that's purchasing underground facilities to try and hide, it's not going to work. I know that was a little bit off topic, but I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, I would sort of like to fill in like a little bit of my vision on that. I've told you this like sort of analogy, the way I visualize it. So when you know that you can manifest things in this world based on the things that you hold in mind and what you say and what you do with your body, you'll see that there's a certain amount of lag time. Like the things that you just think about, they don't necessarily show up in your life today or tomorrow. It might be weeks from now or months or years from now. So they have this like long build time. If you're familiar with games like Age of Empires and games like that, you'll know that like when you start building a building, you've come up with the resources and you purchase it and you plop it down on the map. You don't immediately have it. It takes a while for it to render, just like when we are rendering our videos that we do. There's this rendering time. And it seems like as the days go by right now, the rendering time is being cranked up. Like if you were to imagine like a volume knob, like just turning it up, like things are rendering faster and faster. Now the things that I think about, instead of being a year out, now they're a month out or a week or, maybe just days, or it could happen today. Like sometimes it's been really cranked up like that. So what I envision is on the day, the great day, that the rendering knob, the volume just gets cranked all the way, just maxed out. So what you hold in mind will tend to manifest, so that the people that have learned to be able to be in love, to be in control of their thoughts, only thinking positive things, building a positive, creative future, they will be manifesting that and go into paradise. Okay. And for the people that have been holding wicked thoughts and evil thoughts in their minds, that it will manifest. And like all the things, the visuals that we get in the Bible, like Revelation, blood up to the bridle of a horse, that type scenario, that the evil people, when the rendering capacity is turned all the way up on this world, they're going to manifest some horrible things. I don't want to be around here for that. I want to be raptured out of this world prior to that. And that means getting out of here before the Great Tribulation. And that's my hope. That's what I want. So I keep praying for that. And in doing so, I am verbalizing it. And from what I'm learning from this simulation, I am working towards rendering that into reality. But it's not something that a person can just do automatically. You have to believe it. And in order to believe it, you actually had to go through all the steps. You've had to walk the path. You've had to learn these things. You have to have the confirmations. You have to be able to teach it to somebody else. If you can't teach it to somebody else, that means that you haven't learned it yet. Mm-hmm. So
yes, and one of the best ways to learn something is to try to explain it or to materialize it, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. I learn by showing other people what I do.
Because it gets you rendering. See, the Satanists have everybody sitting on their sofas at home, just watching and not doing. Mm-hmm. Like you have to get off the sofa. You have to go out in your yard and build something. Come up with a flat Earth experiment. Show the world your flat Earth experiment or something. Proclaim the Revelation 12 sign to people. Do something.
Yes, amen. Huge shout out to any first time live viewer, Anton. I know there's a bunch. Nero Shelter. We really appreciate every time I see a new icon. Every time I see, I'll come back on. Every time I see a new icon in the chat, it warms my heart. I am so thankful that if there was only one person, if this was me, Awake Souls, Jason Laufenberg, and the one that called this part reality here, because he is a loyal TEAMYAHAWASHIan.
No, it's enough. This part.
Always, but he is enough. Just for me to have Jason is enough. But every time I see one more person, it's like I hear a bell go off in heaven because I'm so thankful that I'm able to share this with you. There's a couple things here. The Father on earth is the same Father in heaven. Satan is not our Father on earth. You can go to a Catholic preacher or whatever, and they should never be. That is a satanic system. Get out of there if you're in there. Catholicism is not good. And the name Hawashi, so our daily prayer, please, Father, forgive us for our sins, and as we forgive those who sin against us, and lead us not into temptation, but yet Hawashi us from this place. And that is exactly what we're trying to say here for all the listeners. Hawashi is deliverance. He delivers.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out to David.
Yeah.
He's got a comment there. People need to be aware and ready for challenges when they start doing something or creating content as well. The enemy comes fast. And that is very prudent advice. The enemy has been practicing for a long time, has very long, tried, true tactics, and has a very, very large army. The one thing that they're missing is the truth, and the truth,
and any form of it.
Yeah, the truth just slays them. So there's one thing that I would like to get covered here today, and that is before this hangout, I got a phone call from my ex-wife, and so in this phone call, she informed me that Jaron of Jaronism was reaching out to her on Twitter. He was seeking her out, and made some comment to her. Is your ex-husband crazy or a lunatic or something like that? And she was extremely disturbed by this. And I've gotta say, Jaron, you are so out of bounds right now. Okay? So out of bounds. I am right here I use the email awakesouls@gmail.com. I use the email jasonlaufenberg@mac.com. I am on Zoom. I do use Google Hangouts. I can use Skype, but Zoom is what I'm using right now. So if you want to talk to me, create a Zoom account. jasonlaufenberg@mac.com is my email address. Let's go ahead and get connected. I can go live right away so that, you know, everybody can watch the conversation. I'm extremely accessible. All right, so I see what's happening right now. The enemy is doing everything that they can right now to somehow try and discredit me. So they are going to go into like full doxing mode. They're reaching out to my ex-wife, who, if you watch my Flat Earth vlog videos, it's all laid out there. Everybody knows that I had a first wife. I have, you know, 2 kids. I have an ex-wife. It's all laid out there. It's all very public. So these are the tactics of a seriously deranged Satanist creep. You're a sicko, Jaron.
Yeah, it's
not even like I'm trying to defend my ex-wife, because I'm not a huge fan. It's the reason why I divorced her.
Well, yeah, and I've reached points in my investigations and truth seeking where there's a line, you know. Why go over that line? It just proves it pretty much is your undoing.
So because of that, I'm smart enough to know that he's reached out to my first wife and my children. Okay, so right now I'm going to say, hi, ex-wife, hi, kids. Okay, this is what I've been up to. You're going to get dragged into this, which is okay with me, because I want you to look at it. I want everybody to look at it. I want somebody to try to prove me and you wrong. Okay, so have at it. And,
go ahead.
You know, to my kids, I say I love you, but I do put the truth ahead of you.
And me as well. I am Ronnie James Harris. I have nothing to hide. I have a beautiful daughter, and I have tried to teach her everything that I learn, including things that I don't like to talk about, with a degree of you learn as your maturity level increases. And we don't have anything to hide. I can be found at awakeeeple@gmail.com on Zoom or on Gmail. That's AWAKEEPLE@gmail.com. And I'm always available too, just like Jason. I do want to preface that I am constantly working on finding new truths and better ways to express myself through every medium possible. So I'm not always available. And I'm really happy to meet. If you think, you shout out to David. Thanks to David for jumping on to Zoom. And I really look forward to speaking with you. I did want to, there's a couple, I don't know what we want to get into today, Jason. I wanted to maybe go over a bit from the new Flat Earth Mockery documentary. And I also wanted to play an excerpt from the Arabic infancy gospel of Yahawashi.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? We're nearing an hour and a half, and I've got like an easy couple hours of material that I could go through right now. But go ahead and do that, and we'll wrap up for this hangout, and then we'll have to do something again really soon.
Well, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Central. We also do live hangouts. Before I get into that, is there anything else you want to cover? I didn't want to cut you off because that was a bombshell.
Yeah, I want the audience to understand what kind of a creeper we're dealing with in Jaren. And you know, my ex-wife is not digging it whatsoever. It freaked her out big time. She's totally panic driven, and she's not prepared for this. What are you doing?
Well, I know in Yahawashi, she'll whether she likes it or not, she'll always be under the hedge of protection. Whether she wants it or not is beyond me. Maybe one day I'll get to, extend that message in person. But as for anyone else that wants to call people's family members and shame other people, you're probably going to have some truth put out against you that you're not going to like. This is so yeah. Well, what else was there that?
As soon as the tables tip and people like it starts clicking that, all right, these are Satanists, these people are promoting lies, this is the enemy, their network is just going to be eaten up and consumed practically overnight when people that love the truth realize what's going on. And we're going to keep doing this until that point happens. So it is absolutely assured that it will happen.
I was just adding someone on Zoom just to show people just how easy it really is. Zoom is, I don't know if you laid down some sort of a spiritual connection, because I do not use Skype. It is the worst communication network system out here. And me and you have struggled. They've attacked us in every way. There was a comment before, be prepared for all attacks, and you prayed and it didn't and we both visually manifested it, and it didn't happen for how long would you say, like a month or two?
Number of months, yeah. Like we were totally hobbled. Like we were trying to communicate via Google Hangouts and Skype, and it was just awful. Like I don't know how we got the information across to each other. We were it was terrible. And now Zoom is better.
So, and then also, we don't have donation Patreon. I have a Patreon, which I started just because a really smart man said, hey, if someone wants to help support me. I have given up everything in my life. I have walked away from $1,300 job a week. Well, my car burned down, but that adds to. I have walked away. I've taken out. I don't drink. I don't party. I don't have any physical interaction with women. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have a social life where I go out and go to bars. I don't have fancy cars. I don't have brand new clothing. I go to the dollar store to buy things. I have given everything for this truth and for this time to be here with you in the chat, with Jason and everyone that I share my time with. I don't want anything but the truth. And to be a part of our team, these are, a little small bit of a prerequisite. What do you think?
I am playing this game out all in. All right. I have got my hope set on the Revelation 12 prophecy being fulfilled. And I am going to play the resources that I have to the max. And then if something doesn't come out of, September 23rd, whatever, I am an able-bodied carpenter that can build anything, and I have not a fear in the world about making a living, and I don't like a high lifestyle. I like a really simple one out in the country.
And me as well. I just need to have a machine that I can render the expressions that I want. It would be my easel, my paintbrush, my guitar, my voice is what I have. That's about all I need, and I let Yahawashi take care of the rest. And I'll put a link to download Zoom for any new listener. It's really easy. And I'm just so thankful. So did you want me to go into some perplexing... it's hard for me to even share this, Jason. But I have to.
Okay.
I'll pull it up. Shout out. Yeah, everyone's being great. Great chat today. I'm just going to... Right?
Yeah.
It's just try not to have too much downtime here.
Well,
share my screen.
The amazing thing is so we're smashing against IPS, we're smashing against Pat Steer, smashing against Jaron, smashing against GLOBEBUSTERS, smashing against all these people, and I'm looking at the chat here, and we've got one person with a wrench active in there, you and I haven't banned anybody. Have you?
No, nope. I put someone in timeout because they were being rude. But I generally don't ban people. Unless I'd rather they just go away.
And it's been a totally pleasant chat. So there's a different energy here on Beyond Flat Earth than you find at something like IPS. If you ever watched the chat over there.
Yes. Yes, I have. It's ridiculous, right? What's going on over there?
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
It's there will be new information coming to light very, very shortly regarding that whole Team Satan.
Yeah,
okay,
so
I think
Kaylin asked the question, if the Bible is right, God whipped out all the people from the face of the earth, Noah's flood. Do you think that is normal? That it's almost readable, Kaylin. I think I know what you're asking there. And so the Bible is right, and what happened is the offspring of Cain turned into some horrible people, and the fallen angels were down here mating, and they were teaching the humans sorceries, witchcraft, things that they were not supposed to know in the simulation, and things got horrendous. And so the Creator had to do a reset, a deep cleaning, and unfortunately there was still enough corruption through the offspring of Noah that we've fallen back to the point that we are right now. So there is another deep cleaning necessary, and that is coming very, very quick. The characters in this world that call upon the Creator's name, Yahawashai, their files are going to be saved and lifted and put in the new world. And those that don't are well, hell, all the negative judgments that are prescribed in the scriptures will be manifest on those left behind. And there's some that are just going to be their file, they're going to be smashed, gone forever, delete.
Well, yeah, not only do you call upon the name of Yahawashai, who was transliterated to the name Jesus. His name was Joshua, and Joshua is Hawashai, and it means deliverance. And Joshua in the Torah, the Old Testament, was the one that actually brought the Israelites into the promised land of milk and honey. It wasn't Moses. It was Joshua, and that's why he was named deliverer. And we're going to you need to understand that then the Creator came into the simulation, and he also used the name Hawashai. So Yahawashai is he delivers, and he walked amongst us. He gave up his position to be one of us, to experience and do the trials and tribulations. What kind of a person could ever argue against that? And if you want to simply just state that that's not true, that there's no Creator, you want to be a nihilist, I ask you, what could the harm be if you've read a book that actually lines up with everything prophetically, for you to accept that. When I read the scriptures over and over again, I find it's a magnificent, beautiful story with all facets of life inside of that book.
When the thing is once you know that you're in a simulation and you know that that is the model that the creator rendered into this world, that's his written word, you know how the story ends. Don't you want to know how the story ends? All you got to do is read it.
I don't know if Godzilla 73 is really Jaron Campanella, but the father of all lies, it would be Satan, and anyone who doesn't call upon the creator and accept that he walked amongst us. There's no other line that separates the two. I don't know if this is really Jaron.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's been blocked here. I don't know. So did we want to get into a little bit of what I was going to show here? What Hebrew word best represents computer? That's a good question from Cartoon Ball.
I don't know. If you find something, Cartoon, share it with us so we can share it here.
Yeah, well, they didn't have a computer per se in those days, but that's the beautiful thing of the text. It is inspired by the Holy Spirit, which knows all things. So it knew that these questions, his spirit knew that these questions would arise. And that's why we were told not to worship anything of this simulation. Right, Jason?
Yeah, well, I mean, for people that have done some gaming and played, simulation games like Age of Empires or Civilization, stuff like that, you know that, at the beginning of the game, you often start out with your totally primitive characters. In the case of this world here, Adam and Eve were barefoot, naked human beings. Okay, so they didn't have hammers, they didn't have pry bars, they didn't have lasers, they didn't have any of that stuff. And then so when you play these games, you build up, you grow your community, and then you do age ups. And then there's a new level of technology at that age up, and so your civilization changes. And you can clearly look back through our history, and you can see where all the age ups were, and we're coming up on one right now. And this is what Satan's plan was: is in this coming new age, this age up, that Satan was going to have really horrible control of this world, and it's not going to be allowed to happen. The Creator is going to step in. The reset's going to take place, and Satan's not going to get the age up that Satan was hoping for.
Yeah, there will be a Flat Earth reset. Shout out to Flat Earth Reset. He has done some good videos, and hopefully he can understand the truths that we're promoting here. Mm-hmm. It is it's quite a bit of research to go back through, but I'd like to add here, everyone in the Flat Earth community that is not promoting the fact that Yahawashi, Jesus, the Nazarene, was the creator walking amongst us, is on Team Satan, and they promote so there's an ice wall where the creator specifically told us in the book of Genesis that he commanded that the water shall not pass. He was the one. If you were there, make it so. Any of these flat earth proponents that are stating that there's a firmament above, if they were there, where hast thou he laid the foundation? And what is that foundation set upon? What makes the stars cross the sky? If you can answer these things to me, and even Jaron Campanella, if you could tell me where the storm houses are that collect the rain and the dew, where the winds come from, if you could tell me any of these things, I will listen to you. But until then, you have no truth in this reality. If you can't provide what makes the wicked tremble, what causes the thunder, these are the things that I'm seeking. And it's constantly being found inside the scriptures, not just the 66 books. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of Holy Spirit. So the Holy Spirit indwells in men that are righteous and women. If you have a will for the Father, he sends his Holy Spirit. It's not, I wasn't, spirit born. I wasn't born better than anyone else that has ever been a person amongst this creation, right? Right, Jason?
No, there's no special privileges like that.
But that's how the scriptures are able to be prophetic, is because they're not written of men. They are written of spirit. But I can hear I want to go through this and show this to our viewers so they can be warned and aware of what's going on. I feel it's highly important. Is there anything else you want?
There's one thing I'd like to point out. Flat Earth Reset, I appreciate the videos that you've put out recently. You've had a flurry exposing the satanic Flat Earth shills. The one thing that I want to point out, if you're serious about the Flat Earth Reset, the logo that you're using right there with the AE map and the ice wall around it, Ronnie and I have been showing for a long time now. You can look at all of our content all the way back to our first hangout, that the popular flat earth model, regardless of what map you lay underneath it, be it a Gleason or any other, with the sun and moon doing circles around it, that model is impossible. Absolutely impossible. So if we're going to do a reset, let's do it right, and let's actually start from the ground level and start with what's observable evidence, what we can record with a P900, what we can see within our circle of vision. That is, let's go with the facts, and that AE model doesn't work with what we see at all. It's a mess. Total mess. All the channels that you're calling out that are promoting it, that's great, but be careful that you don't promote it yourself too, right? Maybe call it out. Maybe show everybody that the popular flat earth model does not work.
Yes, I agree too. I like Flat Earth Reset so much. He stood up. Many people here, flat Earth photography, enslaved by media, and Rosette. She was also standing up against these deceptions. But you can't just say there's a Satanist. You need to show what the Satanists are doing wrong, and if there is a truer way. And we do believe Flat Earth Reset. When we end this off, I'll play the globe. We are the real GLOBEBUSTERS video, and you can see the map again. I'm just queuing that up for after I play the.
I'm curious. Flat Earth Reset has a comment: every map is inaccurate, and I would like to see what his evidence is that every map is inaccurate, and what he has to make that claim.
Well, I guess he hasn't watched all of our videos. I guess. Right, because we've redundantly shown
that we're using the most accurate map that's recognized by
cartographers and map makers to be no distortions anywhere amongst the map. So I'm not going to play this one yet. I'll finish with that one, but that is a video that we have on our channels. I don't know if you uploaded it, but I have, and you can check it out. It's called the map according to Enoch, the flat Earth map according to Enoch. Please check it out. So let's get into this. Can you hear?
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make an announcement.
So this gentleman here, Mr. Nate Thompson, please, ladies and gentlemen, if you've become a flat earther, do not. In my opinion, now, you don't have to do anything I ask. This does not help us. This is called terrorism. Going around with a duping delight smile, yelling at people is not going to share the truth of the earth. You want to add anything, Jason?
Yeah, I can't stand much of this video. It's really horrible, but can you just show the clip of his, where he's out on the sidewalk there.
Yeah, we can skip to that.
That's all once you hear him talk like that, it's over. So this is a production quality video, right? And this isn't like they took this in a one live take. You know that there were people working in the editing of this video, and this made it through production to being published.
Yes, let's play it. We got the red and the white. This map here, the Gleason's map, not a one. There might be one or two places on this map spelled correctly, but ladies and gentlemen, the Gleason's map was made and copyright out of an old age home in the UK. This is a Freemason hoax. Not one of the cities spelt on the. Well, some of them are, but most places are spelt incorrectly. Who would take the time to do a cartography presentation and spell all the places wrong?
Regardless
it's ridiculous.
Of, what you show them.
Yeah, so Earth's flat, man. When you can test it, water is always stationary.
Ladies and gentlemen, this guy just went in. He's proselytizing that water is stationary.
Water's always stationary, he said.
So we here at Beyond Flat Earth only tell people things we have evidence to provide. I have seen, calm, flat water, but water is not stationary. That is a really bad statement.
It's intentionally bad too. It made it through production.
Really bad statement.
Planes, when they go to the cruising altitude, they fly stationary.
Oh, airplanes are not flying stationary.
No.
That's a bad.
That's, not only is it bad, it's intentionally bad. It made it through production.
Like
they wanted that in there.
This guy right here is a lying, deceiving, cunning person that I would love. And just to shout out, me and Jason, we don't ever promote fighting or violence. We promote the truth. And if you're a flat earther and you're holding conferences or meetups or events, there is a good chance that you might see both or one of us there.
Yeah,
Jason was at the flat. Yeah,
to have a discussion with everybody. Nobody will debate us live on YouTube like we asked for. So maybe we'll come, talk to you live in person, live on Beyond Flat Earth. Do we have to chase you around to get you to answer the questions that need to be answered?
So, Bob, ODD, Jaron, be prepared to see us, and we're not coming for violence. I repeat that. We are coming for truth. And this guy here, it's just a piece of work. And then you have, I don't like to do this. I don't want to do this. But this guy here goes by Mike Jack, ODD. This guy right here committed a serious crime that he then went around and told people that he did a far lesser crime. What do you know about this?
I know that you did some research into this. Well, there was a couple of people worked on this, did some researching, and yeah, I guess he played it off like it's not like it really was.
So, he was tried as a minor. He was tried as an adult, convicted and sentenced as someone that has to register their identity and their location for the rest of their life. So your flat earth leader that's out here promoting a satanic flat earth, in between videos has to go and have his picture taken every year because he raped a woman of this earth. Now, I'm not saying that we don't all sin, but you are not convicted as an adult when you're 17 years of age and sent to adult jail for a minor crime, and then to go and lie about it. And it makes perfect sense to me, Jason. if I've put all my eggs in the satanic basket and I just continue to sin, I am not at once never going to admit that there's a creator of this place.
No. You don't want a creator. You don't want to be under rules. You want to do as thou wilt.
So this guy here, his name is Matthew Aaron Priscillo, and I don't even know if he's allowed to be using an alias and promoting and presenting, because there's women out there that probably would like to know that this man has raped someone and convicted of it. And, you know, I'm not out here trying to talk negatively about somebody for the fun of it. This person here is promoting, profiting, and leading people to hell with a smile on his face. I'll play a little bit. Go ahead.
So isn't there something that has to do with the degrees of the felony or the charge or whatever that was made? That I thought there was some information that the degree that he was charged with only applies to like forced violent rape, not like a teenager groping somebody.
No, I'm a Canadian, so our laws are very similar, but a little different. But from what I had read, that it was a class 4. So the two conditions that stipulated the crime was someone was sexually raped that was of 2 years younger or 3 years younger than the individual, and the other choice was a violent rape. Those were the two classes that this person was convicted of, and that's not a joke out here, ladies and gentlemen. I have a daughter.
No. What I'd like to do is we should pull up all the court records on this, and find anything that the court records have to say about it, and just make this real public so that everybody can see who's leading. I know that the enemy is trying to do this about me. In fact, he contacted my ex-wife today.
Yeah. Well,
so if they're going to go into doxing, let's dox, baby. Let's dox.
Well, I would like to just preface that with everyone needs to understand their own path and be honest. I have committed a crime. I was convicted. I stole groceries from a grocery store. I loaded a grocery cart and pushed the groceries out, and I turned myself in, and I did community service, and I wasn't given a criminal record for that because I'm not a criminal. I made a bad choice, and I've always been honest with everybody about all of my experiences. So you can dox me. You can find I'm Ronnie James Harris, and you can find anything you want about me. I'm not promoting having the truth and trying to sell it for people and then coming out and telling people that I didn't do what I did. This is just like
I've got a record too that I'd like to come out about. I had horrible speeding ticket trouble, like in my 17-year-old range. Lost my driver's license and stuff. And then around 21, when I came home from Bethel, I was in that Jehovah's Witness party crowd, and we went to a thing in Madison where it was a block party by the campus. We were all drinking and partying and stuff. And the block party turned into a riot. And they built like a big bonfire out on the road, and the fire truck came in and was trying to put the fire out. And there's all the drunken college kids, trying to get. I'm getting a big feedback now. Is it okay? So the fire truck was there. They're trying to put it out. Everybody's throwing beer bottles and stuff. I threw a beer bottle out in the street, and as I was turning to walk away, I got tackled by some cops. I got pepper sprayed. I'm a big guy. When I got up, like when they first tackled me, I was still gonna just like stand up and run away, even though a couple of them were hanging on me. And so they maced me. They took me down, and I was ticketed and released. but it was a mandatory appearance ticket, and I showed up for that ticket and was thinking that I might be facing like a couple $100 fine or something, and the judge said this, because it had turned into a national scene, that and there's all this notoriety around this, that I was going to be charged with a felony trying to, I think it was interfering with firefighting. And so I was able to get it down to a misdemeanor, but I did 3 years probation and $3,000 fine. And what the sentence was for 3 years probation, I think I was told by my parole agent that I was the first person to be released from parole early, because I had paid off my fine, and I was just showing up every month. I didn't do drugs. I didn't have any problems, and they were like, we don't want to have to deal with you anymore. You're done. So
Yeah.
I do have a history. It was a bad decision. I shouldn't have done that. It wasn't so much what I did, it was the place that I was in was a bad decision.
Yep, I've made them too. But I've never physically violated somebody, and if I did, I would repent properly. I was fooled. I even told Mike, Jack, or I guess Aaron, Matthew, Aaron, Priscilla, I don't know. I told him, come join TEAMYAHAWASHI. It seemed like a genuine repentance, because that's all we need to do. If we make mistakes, we ask for forgiveness from the creator of this earth, and he's great. He's gracious. He forgives us. But now that I find out that it was a severe crime that he was tried for as an adult in Canada, for me to be sent to a penitentiary instead of like a halfway jail, I would have to physically, there would be evidence that I raped a woman and violently. The charge is similar to vehicular manslaughter. Mm-hmm. That's not a small little I groped a woman charge. Shame on the person for not admitting that. But I guess we should, everyone do your own research on that. I'm not here.
Just research it yourself and see who it is that you want to get your information from. Whether or not you think they're telling you the truth, or maybe they're, Satan is trying to deceive you.
Yeah, I could have went more into depth in that video, because he openly states that he doesn't believe in the Bible. But he does believe. Yeah, he does believe the Earth is flat, and the ice walls. He says the ice walls, hold the water in. When in our book it tells us that Yahweh commanded the waters, and people need to understand that the Satanists are never going to tell you the truth.
They are tried and true liars. You can just bet on it that they are lying.
So yeah, brother, I'll leave with the same video I started with, just because I would like to leave it on a good note. Yeah. Is there anything else in the chat? I think I see Infinite Plane Society in there. What's he? What's going on with him? What do we got? What do we got here? What's he?
I see some capital letters.
The New World Order shill, the Freemason. Okay, so Infinite Plane Society, are you still saying that you are fighting the New World Order with pyramids and 666s and 33s?
And the other thing is Infinite Plane, don't just come in here and talk in our chat. Why don't you contact us? We'll arrange an opportunity where we'll, the three of us will all go live. We'll have it well publicized so that everybody in the Flat Earth community can watch it, and we'll all talk about the same things that we've been talking about for a long time. But we'll talk about them with you and have your input, and
instead of a one-way call.
Yeah.
And look, a comment there about Morgal. Listen, Morgile has denounced and hidden the truth of this reality. He hasn't shared not a one proof or one video from Beyond Flat Earth, and it's just. I was on his podcast. I was there when he didn't have anyone putting research in. I was there to provide my research, and I showed John from Morgile channel all of the proofs, and we got ignored. He is a Satanist in sheep's clothing. I'm going to say that now until he proves me otherwise. That is what I see.
Yeah, well, let's hear him stand up. Let's hear who he thinks the true name of the creator is, and let's see his research piece on it.
Thank you all so much in the chat. I don't see too many questions coming up other than that. And please leave us any comments or questions in the description. And again, Jason, you want to give your Zoom account?
Yeah, to contact me on Zoom, use Jason Laufenberg at mac.com. And I will accept you. We'll get the conversation going. I'd like to see you on camera. We have to be prudent and take infiltrators seriously. So I do need to see you. Yeah, but other than that, I want the honest, trustworthy people that want to communicate with me. I want those relationships established. So if you don't have anything to hide, I can't wait to speak to you. In fact, I'd love to have you out here at the place. I'd like to make preparations for that.
That's what we're about. We're about meeting up, and you can reach me again at awakeeple, AWAKEEPLE @gmail.com. My name is Ronnie Harris. Jason at Jason Laufenberg at mac.com, right?
Yep.
That's Jason Laufenberg.
That's my Zoom email.
Yeah, he's also the one they call Awake Souls.
Thanks, Ronnie.
So yeah, I guess I'll end it with the video. And blessings to everyone who's seeking the truth. Right? Thank you.
Amen.
Amen, brother.
Hi guys, it's Skeptic Media here. This is such an exciting day. This is where we're going to see the Flat Earthers' first model. I heard Flat Earth British talking about it on a hangout with Doomweaver, this is going to be history in the making. I can't wait. This is so exciting. GLOBEBUSTERS have their first map, working map. This is going to blow all the skepticism away. Even me. I might even change my name to Jed Flat Earth Media. My heart's beating here. I can't wait. Let's go, guys. Let's watch this.
Oh, you heard that right. Join Awake Souls, Jason Laufenberg, and Ronnie Harris of Event Skeptic.
I can't wait. This is so exciting. GLOBEBUSTERS have their first map, working map. It's
okay. The Flat Earth working map and model, macro to micro. Stars to the sun.
Will always be lined up where the north is.
Oh man, I just feel like I ate some manna.
different grid work than this. It was just a rectangular grid work, but I forgot to adjust the angle. Timeanddate.com. It's 63 degrees. It's the sunrise angle. Was it 87? Is the sunset and
Tonight, live at 8 p.m. Central. Only on Beyond Flat Earth.